morning, good morning. You are watching Rachel Anderson. My name is Rachel Anderson and you have clicked on my video. So thank you. I hope you enjoy every minute of it. I am going to talk about, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about today actually. Let's see. Alright, so today we're going to talk about why I told my best friend's husband that she was cheating on him. Yes, I told my best friend's husband that she was cheating on him. I know. I'm sure everybody's like, what the heck? Why would you tell your best friend's husband that she was cheating on him? It's a great question. And I'm here to tell you why. So, sit back, relax, get some popcorn. Let's get this girl and I were like inseparable, and she and I did pretty much everything together. I mean, we grew up together, we went to the same school together, and we were inseparable. And there was a time where I wanted to move out of the town I lived in, and she lived about 2 hours south, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna move in with her, you know, because we were best friends, like, we were inseparable, like, and the thing is, she would always call me. I wasn't a huge, like, person to call other people, so I wasn't a very good friend, I guess. I just didn't, I don't know, like, friends to me were okay, but I didn't need them. I didn't really want them. So when we, you know, when we connected on a level of really having a good friendship, like, I was really dedicated to her. So I moved down to a place south of where I was living, and she was living on the base, and her husband was actually out like stationed somewhere, I don't remember where, and I moved in with her, and it went really well for a couple weeks, I guess. I ended up meeting a guy that lived on the base too, and we would play basketball together and everything, and we were friends, and he would, you know, stop by the house, and, you know, I knew that the one rule was no men could come to the house. Like, the number one rule that her husband made was that you could not have any men over to the house. So I told him this, but he would come and just pick me up or something. We would go play basketball, and so his car would be there. And so, you know, I guess I didn't realize how many people talk, and they got that back to her husband that was stationed away. And, you know, I had to, like, defend myself. I was like, no, he just came to pick me up, and I'm sorry, I'll definitely never happen again. And it didn't happen again. Like, when I got the lecture, I was like, all right, not gonna happen again. I promise you, I'm not gonna disrespect your household. I will never have anybody come over. I ended up going and stupidly, like, getting a cat and bringing it back to their house, and my friend was like, you cannot have a cat here. So I think, you know, me loving pets so much that I wanted a pet, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just move out. So I ended up getting my own place, and I moved out, and we went out to Target or Walmart one day, and she ended up meeting this guy that was checking us out. He was working there, and he had asked her for her phone number, or gave her his number. And, you know, being married and having her husband away, you know, I think she took the number, I can't remember, but they got hooked up some way, somehow. And I was actually happy for her, because she would tell me horror stories of her husband getting so angry, beating holes in the wall, you know, things that you don't want to see your friend go through. So I was happy for her. I was like, oh, cool, you know, at least maybe just a friendship could, you know, blossom out of this. So I'm out of the house. I move out, and she meets this guy, and to my knowledge, she told me that he came over. And I don't know what happened. I wasn't going to ask questions. It wasn't my place, I guess. And so, you know, people were talking again. And there's a car in front of the house, and it's this and it's that. So she's like, Rachel, please just say it was your friend again. So, of course, I was like, okay, you know, I'll take the fall for this. So, you know, he's yelling at me, her husband's yelling at me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again, I can't control other people, you know, I'm telling him it was all me, it was, you know, this guy that I know, and, yada, yada, you know, I was taking the blame for what she was doing, and I didn't mind doing that because she's my friend, you know, I was taking it. So, you know, he's overseas, and he's still calling the house and still calling and, you know, checking up on his wife. And, you know, she's having this person over on a regular basis at this point. And I couldn't, you know, I didn't know what was going on, or if she was staying at his house, or what the case, you know, I didn't ask questions. I really didn't. Anyway, I end up moving to Pittsburgh. And he ends up coming back home, and he ends up hearing even more stuff, you know, about the car, about his wife, about whatever. And she will call me in Pittsburgh and be like, Rachel, you know, talk to him. And when they're on the phone together, she's calling me a slut. She's calling me, you know, you were not supposed to have anybody over here. And, you know, of course, trying to push the blame off of me. And, you know, at that point, when she was telling me that I was a slut, and as soon as he would get off the phone, like, he got off the phone, I think, to do something, and she's like, Rachel, you're doing such a great job. Please keep it up. Please keep it up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Blah, 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 blah. After that, I was so fed up. Like, I'm like, you're not going to sit here and call me these things because I'm defending you. And I was very a naive person, and I kind of let people take advantage of me. So I was like, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm living in Pittsburgh. I don't even live there anymore. It wasn't even me. So I wrote a letter, and I addressed it to her husband's name from somebody else. And I told everything. And I was like, it wasn't me. It was your wife. It was her that had these people over. It was not me. I don't know what happened. I mean, I heard from, you know, it's a small town. So I heard from other people, like, he was staying the night. He was, by this time I had moved out already. So it wasn't like I knew at all what was going on. So I was like, it wasn't me, it was your wife, and take it out on her. I mean, not take it out on her, because I wouldn't want that to happen, but, you know, figure this out. So I wrote that long letter, and she calls me at home. I was at home for something, I can't remember what it was, but she's like, how dare you do this to me? You've ruined my relationship, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. So she writes this long letter to my father, addressing it to my father, talking about how I date black men. And I mean, if you've seen my other videos, you know my dad's a racist. So she wanted to get to me. And I mean, now I regret sending the letter. I should have just let it go. I should have just, you know, allowed it to work its way through. But at the time, I was so fed up of being the one friend that everyone shit on. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done, and I'm going to stick up for myself. I'm going to stick up for myself. And I did. And even to this day, I remember seeing her on Facebook, and it was like a friend suggestion, and I reached out to her, and I kind of apologized, and she went off on me. She's like, "You're so stupid. You think still to this day that it happened," and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, of course. And she's like, "I don't wish anything bad upon you, but you are just the dumbest person ever still." And I thought that when we were friends, you were the dumbest person, and you still are. And I'm like, really? Really? You really still believe that you did nothing? Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you believe that. And I know that our friendship was nothing. And it's just funny because I really didn't put anything into it at the very beginning of our friendship. Like, I was like, this girl's kind of needy, and I don't need friends. I don't. Like, I really don't. I haven't had a lot of friends in my whole life, so it was like, I don't need friends, but she seems really needy. And with me, I attract like narcissistic people and people that have negative energy. Now that I know that, I actually protect myself. But so knowing the type of people I attract, I don't doubt for a second she's one of those negative people in my life. So that's why I told my best friend's husband that she was cheating on him. Do I regret it? I think I regret sending the letter. Yes, like I said, I should have just let it play out. But at that time, I was fed up. Like, I couldn't just sit by anymore and just let people talk shit about me. You know, before that, I was raped. And I kind of just let people say whatever they wanted to say because I didn't feel like I'm going to stay. I didn't want to get into altercations. I didn't want to do any of that. So I just let people say what they're going to say. I let it just fly over my head. It didn't get to me. And at the point with my friends, I was like, fuck this. Like, you know, when you get to that point, it's like, I'm done. I'm sticking up for myself. I'm not letting anybody else run my life. So I'm just, and I knew I couldn't call. I knew I couldn't, you know, call him. I had to like do it in a letter because and I did it in a letter because I knew she wouldn't read it if it's addressed to him. So anyway, I just had to say my piece on it. It wasn't me. I will go to the grave and know the truth. God knows the truth. Her husband still to this day does not know. They have a beautiful family, and I think that, you know, sometimes you make mistakes in life, and sometimes you have to be forgiven. And, you know, I don't know if he would have ever been able to forgive her, but they have a beautiful family. They, you know, are still together, which is great. And you know, I'm glad that they were able to work through that part of their life. Nobody's perfect. And I just had to stick up for myself. So that's why I did it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Comment, like, hit that bell. You will get notified whenever I go live. I get my live back hopefully soon because I got that taken away. It's pretty crazy.